Boy, as we are just getting set up here, it looks like it's going to be another PvT. A lot of Protosses, a lot of Terrans, not too many Zergs here today. Feels bad, man.
Yeah, but we've got the real good Zergs going forward. And I'm very excited to see exactly what those Zergs will do in the close qualifier. But before we get to that close qualifier, we have a whole nother series to cast.
That we do, and spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Lightshade ALE, we have the teal Protoss player representing Berserker Esports. It is eXiled.
And spawning in the upper left-hand corner, give it up. He's the red Terran player playing for Placer. It's MogarFNSMASH.
Oh boy.
Now, like, the real question is, are we going to do another bet for this series, or was it just the one and done?
I'm on it, mate. I'm on it.
I love to see it, because it's just like, me, and I love to lose all my points on potentially silly bets.
I got you. As I just set it up right now, MogarFNSMASH, our Terran player, and eXiled, our Protoss. I guess another exciting series because I don't believe either of these players have made it to the closed qualifier before, so another great opportunity for them and a big milestone in their careers.
Exactly. It's
oh my
personally, I'm rooting for Mogar because he's a very fun player. I've been friends with him for a while. However, this proxy pylon makes me nervous.
Oh yeah, mate, we know what's coming. We've seen it time and time again, especially on Lightshade. The Zealot is on the way across the map. The Cybercore is about to finish up. We are going to be seeing some proxy Void Rays.
Yes, and the fact that Mogar, he did, keep in mind, he did send out that SCV scout. He did spray and say, "What's up, guys?" Love to see it. And so he knows that something's up, and that something is probably pretty easy to prepare for. He's got a bunker on the way. He's got his factory way in the back. I'm absolutely loving this setup here out of Mogar.
Oh yeah, exactly. Mogar, he is prepared. He is crossing his T's, dotting his I's as best as he can. We'll see what his response is going to be, because we've seen some various different types. Oh my god, going double factory!
It is such an interesting response here. Going for 2 factories versus like a proxy Void Ray, you're really gonna have to commit to Cyclones. You're gonna have to take good fights. Because if you just miss like even a little bit versus the Void Rays, if you let just a couple of your Cyclones overextend and go down, it's very, very easy to lose absolutely everything.
Exactly. He has to be so careful here, as there we go, Macfield Accelerators is on the way. The first Void Ray is still a ways off though, so there is a good opportunity for Mogar to really get that Cyclone count up and running. We'll see if he can hold on to this little forward outpost as well. Again, very interesting that he opted not to go for any engineering bays or missile turrets, just relying on his Cyclones and his bunker for now.
Exactly, and there are the SCVs on that auto repair, and they're real good about getting right on that. But with the Cyclone already out, I feel like this it's going to be a bit difficult for eXiled to do damage, at least with only one Void Ray.
Exactly, has to wait a little bit longer. The second Void Ray is on. Oh, the Cyclone's stuck! It's stuck!
It got stuck. It couldn't get out, and unfortunately, that first Cyclone goes down. The bunker is getting damaged, and with the shield batteries just keeping everything up and alive, that's not what you want to be seeing.
Yeah,
Mogar.
Exactly. Like Cyclones, you want to use them the same way you use Void Rays. You know, you want to slowly bank them up over time, keep them alive, micro them as best you can. But losing one off the bat is huge.
Exactly. And he is getting good lock-ons and dealing decent damage to these Void Rays. But he has to be careful. He can't lose any more Cyclones.
Yeah, exactly. Meanwhile, there was some nice damage done on that Void Ray, almost half HP remaining. I do love the transition into a Phoenix, and oh my god, we see a Fleet Beacon?
Is he gonna go Tempests? Because that would be absolutely amazing.
I mean, I guess it's an answer to Cyclones, question mark?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely able to outrange the Cyclones, so it's interesting, but at a certain point, like, can the Cyclones just like run at you? I'm very curious how this will go.
It's I think you're right. You know, at a certain point, we're gonna. He's taking the natural.
What?
Uh,
What are
oh,
we watching, Light? What is this?
mate, overcharge. The big brain plays. It's all coming together. He has to be careful though to get another lock on. It looks like one of the Void Rays will not go down, but the Phoenix will.
Oh, the Phoenix dies. I absolutely love that for Mogar. Now they can just sort of move out and deal a decent amount of damage to like the Zealots and the Void Rays here. This is draining a lot of shield battery energy. A good scan so he doesn't like lose lock on anything. Nicely done.
Exactly, and I'm terrified because we have a Tempest on the way, but I feel like the game may end before the Tempest comes out because there we go, the Cyclones push down onto the low ground. Ooh, one of the Cyclones does get picked off once again, a bit of some body blocking going on there. So with that, he isn't able to reclaim the low ground.
Yeah, and there are a couple of Marines here as well, but with a Tempest and 2 Void Rays, it's still a decently scary force. And you're starting to lose those Cyclones. You really need to keep them alive, but that is a lot of damage and a lot of shield better energy gone.
Exactly. Now we do have eXiled establishing a foothold here. The Nexus is about to finish up. Once it finishes, we're going to have an overcharge available as well. But oh my god, there's only one Void Ray left.
Yeah, that Void Ray was so close to dying. Unfortunately, it did live. Unfortunately for Mogar, that is. You're an eXiled fan. It's really glad that it did live, but that overcharge is going to keep everything alive. However, he's still slowly but surely running out of shield battery energy.
Yeah.
I'm not sure how long eXiled can keep these trades up, because he's down to only like one decently filled shield battery and one that's sort of on its way but not done yet. That is a lot of Terran.
Exactly, as you're saying, like, eXiled, he's just running out of units. He just doesn't have the momentum that he needs. He's down to only 2 Tempests. I guess he's trading relatively well, but he lost a bunch of Stalkers, he lost all his Void Rays, like, at a certain point, these Cyclones can just chase this down, and that's what he's doing!
Yeah, he gets the Tempest. He also kills the shield battery. Love to see that, and the second Tempest may be going down. He does kill more of these Cyclones, and unfortunately that last Cyclone doesn't have a lock on, but that is so many Marines.
Exactly. It looks like all these shield batteries will be depowered. Mogar has reclaimed control of his natural base. This Nexus only really achieved that one overcharge, and it was not enough. It looks like Mogar has been able to survive and yeah, to take this.
Yeah, and there's another fight going down. He does try and save. His second Tempest does exile, but these Tempests, they're on the run. They don't have a lot of HP, and that first Tempest goes down, the second one being shot at. And Tempest versus Marine is not a fight you want to be taking as Protoss.
Exactly, we even see the lock-on to finish it off. That is it. That is all the army gone for eXiled. Everything will be depowered, and what does eXiled have left? He has a base. He's trying to play this out, by the way. He's
Perfectly normal. Like who needs like to really start a game normal? You can just rebuild from home.
he's taking the ninja base. He's doing it.
I love to see this. This is going to be great. He is going to lose literally everything on the other side of the map, but that ninja base will let him that he does take in the top right will let him get an economy, assuming Mogar doesn't find it. But you have to be a little suspicious.
Yeah, like, I mean, with this Nexus, he will force the game to be a little bit longer. He will force Mogar to hunt it down eventually as Mogar's going across the map. What is there to defend? We have 3 Stalkers. Maybe if he chronos out a sentry, he can force field the ramp and try and delay this push, especially since there is no medevac. But unfortunately there is no sentry.
Yeah, there's no sentry, and he's also supply blocked, so he can only just now warp in the sentry. And that force field was just a little too late. He's able to get one of the Cyclones, but not before losing a Stalker, and I'm not sure if this is going to be enough. That is a scary amount of Marines. And we do have a Marine scouting on the other side that you just pointed out, but the Cyclones are able to lock on. The range is so good. The shield battery overcharge is a lot, but is it enough? I don't think so. The boys are pulled, but so many boys are going down. That is just so much DPS out of a Terran player.
Yeah,
I feel like eXiled's on his last legs.
Exactly, man. With gun is all you need, even without stim, without combat shields. GG gets called, and Mogar takes game number 1.
What a game number 1 it was, too. That was such an interesting series here. Honest, like, what is going on, man? What are these series?
We're just committed. We're going full NA, mate. It's happening.
Yeah, full NA.
Jesus Christ. I did not expect that game #1. I don't know what to expect for the rest of the series because that wasn't your typical proxy Stargate into Void Ray into like shield battery contain and push. Like there was a little bit more, there was a lot more spice added to that. Maybe too much. But maybe you can never have too much. I don't know.
I mean, can you ever really have too much spice? I feel like just a little bit more spice was needed and that could have gone pretty well.
Like what more could we want there? Like maybe like a proxy like Twilight Council or something with the Dark Shrine.
Something, I'm not sure, but I'm very excited to see how this game goes because what's the play here? Is he just gonna like double down on proxying, or is he gonna maybe go for something a bit more normal? Because like I'd love to see, like, it didn't work the first time, but maybe it'll work this time.
Give me a proxy 4-gate.
Proxy 4-gate. What a concept.
Oh god. I don't know. I'm ready for whatever you have to offer when it comes to our Protoss player, mate.
Honestly, same.
As we are.
Speaking of Protoss players,
go for it, mate. Go for it.
Spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, playing for Berserk. Give it up for the blue Protoss, eXiled.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of 2,000 atmospheres, LE, we have the Terran. His Terran opponent. The Canadian Terran, I believe, representing Team Blazer. It is MogarFNSMASH.
So far, things look somewhat normal. However, that is a probe heading across the map, and that makes me nervous.
Yeah.
Is it going to scout? Is it going to proxy?
I'm keeping an eye on this probe. What do you have in store for us? So far, it looks like it is just a regular scout. Nothing crazy going on. There's no second probe out there. There's no like early cyber core or anything. So, unfortunately, just scouting for now.
Yeah, I mean, still, I don't quite entirely trust it, because like a probe on the other side of the map is still a sketchy thing. However, with a Nexus finally going down on the other side of the map, I feel like eXiled is going to play a somewhat normal game.
Can you ever trust the probe, really? Can you?
I don't think the answer is yes.
God, probes are they're OP, man. They can do so. They can throw down pylons. Pylons are crazy.
Exactly. Pylons are the most terrifying thing on the planet. They can just like make units appear in your base. On the bright side, they can't warp in up ground anymore, which is very nice.
Hey, remember when a pylon could be overcharged? Remember that?
Oh boy, I remember that because what would happen is a probe would build a pylon on the bottom of my ramp, and I'd almost instantly just leave the game because I would lose every time.
Good times, good times. Oh god.
I don't know if "good" is a word that I would use, but it was a time was definitely had.
A time was had, yes. But here we go, Mogar is across the map with this Reaper. He was able to hunt down that probe and make sure that it was not across the map. It didn't have didn't pose a threat to him. Again, as probes are terrifying. And what's interesting is that eXiled is going for a very fast robo.
Yes, I'm very curious what this robo is going to be. Is he just going to like make a bunch of stalkers and go for it across the map? Because he's gonna get in and maybe see it depending on where this Reaper goes.
Oh, he sees it, and what I smell, especially because there aren't too many gateways, I smell a robotic spay, and I smell like a disruptor drop or something.
I would love to see a disruptor drop right here. Because that would be a great way for eXiled to put on a lot of pressure by Mogar, and also just make Mogar have to constantly look at his army. Because if you're looking at your army a lot, you can't, you'll just slowly miss out on things, and there we have it.
Mate.
That robotic spray, you called it.
Mate, I don't know if I should be proud or worried that I'm calling whatever the hell eXiled is doing, mate. Oh god. I
I
need to.
mean,
Uh-huh.
it's a strat. He's got some. It's definitely a pretty good build. You see it occasionally at the higher levels. I believe M. Canning used to do this all the time, and you know, if M. Canning did it, then it has to be a good build, right?
Yeah. I mean, M. Canning is invited into the main event for North America, so, take that how you will. As there we go, the War Prism is on the way. He could go full Nina and get a Colossus instead, to be fair. But
Ooh.
oh yeah, at the moment we don't see extended thermal lance or anything like that, so it should be disruptors.
Yeah, no extended pew pew leads me to favor those disruptors over that, but that is Warp Prism speed, so it's going to make those disruptor drops just that much faster. But with the tank out providing some support and just firepower in the base, I feel like the disruptor drops, you have to be a little bit more careful with the tank when you otherwise could just like go right in YOLO.
Yeah, the problem is that Mogar was able to scout the early robo, and you can deduce that it is going to be disruptor drop from that, especially after scouting that there were minimal gateways available. So he can kind of piece two and two together because of that. Like, his defensive position is pretty good, as you were saying, with the tank and with the Raven as well. Like, if we see the Raven disable that War Prism once the disruptor's been dropped, then that's just a dead disruptor, man.
That would definitely be a very dead disruptor. And with the tank at the low ground and this War Prism heading across the map, I feel like the War Prism is slowly running out of places to drop. And the ideal drop, I feel like, would be to take a quick detour into the main base since these two tanks are there. But it looks like he's going for the natural.
Yeah, that he is. We are going to be seeing the drop here. Oh, one tank shot goes off. The disruptor shot does get a couple of SCVs, and he does manage to escape.
Yes, but how much damage did he really take there? Two tank shots I don't believe is enough to get through the shields. And it doesn't look like that he did. Oh, he did just a little bit of damage, but not too much.
Yeah, some hull damage was dealt. Meanwhile, Mogar's hunting down. Oh, he does get the Observer. Next will be that Disruptor Purification. But does it go off? It does go off! Up!
Oh, so close. Just like another instant. If he was just a little bit quicker on that Disruptor initially, all those Marines would be dead. But really well done by Mogar to commit to that fight. He didn't check it out. He's like, yeah, I've got this. Easy. He did the math.
He did do the math, and this man, he's crazy. He's cracked. Mate, one Disruptor goes down for only 3 SCVs and like a mule, and that's it. That is not worth it whatsoever. To be fair, we still have 2 Disruptors. Like, Purification of his, they can make some magic happen. These shots, they need to count.
They can indeed, and that is a pretty juicy shot. Killing a Marauder and doing a lot of damage to a tank is very nice. But I'd love to see another shot here.
Oh!
Ooh, nice dodge. What a god.
Oh, what a god, mate. The disruptor shot goes off. Oh, only gets a single Marine, though. Has to wait a little bit more for more shots to become available. Meanwhile, Mogar, now is your opportunity. These disruptors, they're dead weight right now. You gotta go.
Yeah, you have to go. Indeed, losing one of the shield batteries, the disruptors are trying their best to get something done, but with Stim now complete, it's a bit difficult. But you do get the tank cleaned up, and he's just not connecting with the Marines. Unfortunately, Mogar is 2 on top of things, and that third base goes down.
It does go down. Now the tank's going to leap forward. Meanwhile, we do have a couple of disruptions going off. We do have 4 disruptors. That's quite a lot, so it's going to be difficult to really push into this.
Exactly. But Mogar is just backing up. He knows, all right, I dealt the damage. Now I need to not get ahead of myself. Just like heal up his army since it's rather stimmed, get a couple more units, more tanks. But he's sieging up his tanks. The blink forward, you're going to lose the tanks. Oh, what hits? Oh, no.
Oh, things were going so well for Mogar there, but in the retreat, it looks like eXiled has caught almost the entire army, resets the tank count, catches the majority of the bio, and now eXiled, he has map control. He's trying to get his third up and running. Is a little bit under threat.
It is, and that is a decent-sized force, and with Stim, you can probably deal quite a bit of damage to this, but I don't think you can kill it in time. Especially with Blink Stalkers, it looks like this force is just, it's going to get out. Really nicely done by Mogar to get out like that.
Yeah, definitely. Instead of going for the Nexus because he knew he probably couldn't get it, he did go for the pylons instead. Did get some value with that drop, and he is getting his own third base behind this. He has not stopped his production. We have 3 tanks. We have the Raven as well, as this is the original Raven. Did go back home, did get repaired, and now he is once again looking to hit this third base.
I love to see it though. That is a scary amount of disruptors. And does he? Oh, he does lose his initial drop, but there is still a very terrifying army here, and he just has to avoid the disruptor hits. And I feel like this fight will go well.
Oh, but there's 6 disruptors. That's a lot of he can dodge maybe half of them. Oh my god, meanwhile we have a questionable blink forward. Oh, he didn't even get the Raven.
Oh no, eXiled. You like losing a couple of stalkers. If you get the Raven is fine, but not even getting the Raven is absolutely terrifying. Oh no. Loses a tank, another tank massively damaged, but the Raven finally dies.
It dies, but it does disable the Colossus just barely in time. Meanwhile, beautiful Purification Nova towards the end there, and with that Nova, he can maybe hold on. No, never mind, the third base goes down for the second time.
Another base killed, but keep in mind that our DT's on the way, and this Terran army is slowly getting whittled down. Charge is also complete. You gotta dodge. Ooh, you can't be taking disruptor shots like that.
Exactly. Again, they just keep getting more and more value. But the problem is as well that eXiled, the only things that are alive when it comes to his army are his disruptors. He's done a good job at babysitting them. Maybe not so much the rest of his army. The rally just keeps on coming. Ooh, Purification Nova doesn't connect.
Yeah, these Purification Novas just aren't quite cutting it right now. Nice job by Mogar to keep dodging. And those tanks are just doing an excellent job providing some zoning for the Protoss army. There's one tank that looks like it's a bit out of position, might be jumped on, but meanwhile the Terran army, their side of things, is starting to break into the natural.
Yeah, and you know what? That tank, even though it went down, it did deal a lot of damage to those Colossus. The Colossus, they don't have any more shields. We have some Liberators coming in as well. There's no real answer to them. And Mogar, he's just forcing himself into the natural, and I don't think that eXiled has enough.
Yes, and those siege tanks are also combining with the libs to provide such excellent zoning. That natural nexus is under fire. He blinks forward under the lid, but that is just so much area of effect and just anti-ground there. But the stalkers, the last tank doesn't die. It's on 1 hit point.
Exactly.
Finally going down.
It finally gets picked off, but you know what? Now the Colossus are exposed. We see a stim on forward. 1 Colossus does go down. The Disruptors as well. They don't have any shots left. The natural fell throughout all of that, and Mogar, he did it again.
Really well played. MogarFNSMASH is able to take game number 2. What a game.
Hey, this guy is just smashing through his opponents, man. It's crazy.
And he is absolutely cracked. What a like the first 2 games, he's just been crushing it. Way to go, Mogar.
Yeah, he's just go on.
I know he's up 2-0 and one more win, and he's in the close qualifier. That is amazing. Well done, Mogar. But what were you gonna say?
I was just about to say that, like, he's just been so hyper aggressive. Like, despite eXiled coming out with these cheeky openers, whether they be proxies or, like, you know, some hidden tech, just Mogar has been able to just, again, first initially deal with it and then just go across the map. Like, he has that killer instinct. And it was really showcased there. Like, again, just being so on top of taking down those bases, sniping some key techs, sniping some key some key units. Like, that was beautiful.
And it was really well done, and he also just did an excellent job of always having that next step ready. Because if he wasn't as on top of having the next phase of what he was going to do ready as he was, maybe he could have maybe he would have fallen or not quite been as able to win that game. But we're finally getting into the next lobby, Oxide Ellie. I feel like this is sort of a Terran map.
I agree. I'm a little bit concerned. I mean, it's one of those things where, because it's a best of 5, your vetoes are limited, so it does make sense, right, that a map like this would sneak through. It's just worrisome because I don't think eXiled thought that he would be in this position where he's down 0-2. Like, he can't afford another loss.
Yeah, he has to do something, pull something together, pull some magic out of his hat. And as we're loading in, I worry for eXiled. I wonder if it's going to be another 3-0.
It's looking like it, man. It's looking like it. I don't want it, but that's what seems to be happening here as we are loading in to game number 3, potentially the final game of this series. And in the top right-hand corner, we have our teal Protoss player hailing or representing Berserker Esports. He needs your energy right now, chat. He needs it if we want to go further into this series, if we want to go to game number 4 and potentially the ace match. It is eXiled.
And in the bottom left-hand corner, in the red, representing not only himself, but Blazer and humanity playing Terran, give it up for MogarFNSMASH.
And I'm just really impressed with how Mogar has played this series, just because maybe like a year ago, I remember casting him and he was more of like an amateur player, like even amongst the pros. I don't even know how it would go as far as to say like mid-tier. Like he was around, but was overshadowed by many other players in the region. But here, at least in this series, like he's impressive.
Yes, he is definitely showing that he belongs here today. With really excellent builds, and the fact that he's up 2-0 in the qualifying match, honestly, I feel is super impressive, and he just is really on top of like everything this series. I'm really loving Mogar in this game and in this series.
Definitely. Really, I think more than anything, what we have learned today is we have some cheeky micro going on, especially based off of the last qualifying match, is that clearly Protoss needs to be buffed because they're having a hard time against Terran.
Yeah, you know, PvT is a pretty difficult matchup. And of course, like I know a couple of Protoss players out there who think it's unwinnable, but like, I just feel like it's so, like, from both sides, it's so easy to just like fall slightly behind and lose. And just today, the chips happen to fall the Terran side of things, and maybe tomorrow it'll be the Protoss's turns. Because keep in mind, like, there are so many Protosses in the next stage that I feel like all the super high level Protosses are already through, and so they'll be able to maybe show exactly what Protoss is made of here in the next steps.
That's very true. That's one of the big things, is that NA is very Protoss heavy. There's plenty of Protoss in the closed qualifier and already in the main event as well. So we need to cherish every single Terran and Zerg that we can in these open qualifiers and hope that they make it through. And so far, it looks like the Terrans are doing well. Zerg's not so much, but but at least the Terrans, they're having their day in the sun for now. As once again, eXiled going for a fast robo.
I really like the fast robo. It did well to get him like somewhat ahead in the first game. I feel like it would do well in the second one. But Mogar, he's just losing things, and the Reaper gets surrounded. No, that's not good.
Yeah, wow, finally something going eXiled's way, because he didn't just kill the Reaper, he also denied a scout. The Reaper did not get into the main base.
Really well done by eXiled. No information will Mogar have. He's going to be forced to scan if he wants anything, but Mogar, really nice job doing a lot of damage to those Stalkers. And that's the power of that, like, at that ramp at the natural, you just have so much more peace of mind as a Terran player. But once again, it's going to be disruptors. I am excited.
Oh yeah, the same opener as the previous game, except this time unscouted, so the likelihood of this dealing damage is that much higher. Feels bad, man, for Mogar, again slipping up and losing his Reaper to probes. It's something that shouldn't really be happening, but it did. So now eXiled, he has an opportunity here to really deal some damage.
Yes, I'm very excited to see what he brings and how much damage he can do, because with disruptors like that, it's so easy to just deal a lot of damage. And wait, Mogar's going for a 2-1-1.
Oh yeah, Stim is almost done, mate. He's just the add-on? What?
No.
That's a little bit unfortunate, to say the least.
He's only gonna have one medevac to move across the map with, and Like, it's just so unlucky because you're really having those two medevacs makes the drop so much more powerful. And he notices now, that's really unfortunate. Small mistakes. Oof.
Yeah, solid oof there, to say the least. I mean, Mogar is moving out anyway. The push does get spotted by eXiled with that spotter probe, so he's well aware of the Marine. Stim is done, so the War Prism has to be careful. There is an opportunity here for Mogar to maybe stim under it and focus it down. He has to be careful. He does scan.
He does see exactly what the army is looking like, and he is stimming forward, but he has to keep in mind that there's a Disruptor. And Disruptors kill Marines pretty quickly.
they do. I believe in one shot they can kill a Marine, at least one, I should say. But at least Mogar was able to force the Disruptor to stay at home and force the shot off as well, so he was able to confirm what the opener was.
Exactly. So he knows what's going on. He knows what he has to be worried about, and as long as he can stay on top of his micro, I feel like he has a good chance of doing well. But that Disruptor, it doesn't get anything again.
Yeah.
Oh, man, War Prism speeds are so fast.
it's disgusting, mate. Look at him. He's just ZB zooming, mate. Oh my god. Just can't keep up. I feel like that's faster than a Muta.
That is definitely faster than a Muta. And this Disruptor is on the way home with Blink and upgrades on the way. I feel like eXiled has sort of accepted that, well, he didn't, neither player really got anything from their opening. So now they're both starting to move on and maybe do something.
Yeah, exactly. Oh my god. Meanwhile, the War Prism, almost caught out there. Did force the stim. The stim, he's going to try and dive on top of the Disruptor, and he gets the Disruptor.
Oh no, there's another Disruptor in the back, but you really don't want to be losing any Disruptors here, because at a certain point you hit a critical mass of Disruptors, and you're suddenly just able to constantly fire, and you really can't do anything. Oh no!
eXiled slipping up a little bit here and there, just leaving his units a little bit vulnerable. Meanwhile, decent Disruptor shot does get four or so Marines. Another good Disruptor shot, really weakening this force.
This is a lot of Marines. It forces the third to be canceled. Another Robo on the way, and there are more Disruptors being built. But I definitely feel like if eXiled just had one or two more Disruptors here, this hold would be so much easier.
Oh yeah, 100%. Meanwhile, another bit of a whiff. We only have two Disruptors remaining. Are they going to be enough here? Some decent shots, but the tanks are just shelling away.
Yeah, that is so much damage output. The Disruptor shots are pretty good, but I don't think it's enough. The Shield Battery Overcharge does keep Protoss alive for now, but eXiled, he needs more army.
That he does. He needs army, he needs more time, he needs a third base. Ooh, the tanks are exposed, and immediately two of them go down.
Yes, but the Disruptors, they fire the wrong way. A lot of Marines are still alive, and just these Stalkers aren't quite able to combat these Marines by themselves. All the tanks are now finally dead, but you can't beat Marine with pure Disruptor.
Oh, yeah, exactly. There's just far too much micro potential. Meanwhile, we just see a recall to save that one Stalker. Alright, here we go, and it looks like eXiled may just barely have enough to push Mogar away. Maybe I spoke too soon.
He is forcing that lift off, but all very full medevac goes down. That's not what you want to be seeing. He's forcing the unload, and eXiled is finally getting things going his way.
Oh yeah, eXiled, he's cleaning this up. He's getting his third up and running. Every single medevac will get picked off. Almost the entire army falls apart, and now Mogar has to retreat, recuperate his army, just kind of consolidate, I should say, and now hit that third base once again. He just doesn't stop.
Yeah, no, he does not stop. But this time he has more tanks. Oh, and
no,
not like that. eXiled, please.
eXiled, you were doing so well. Things were looking up for eXiled, but no longer as two Disruptors go down for free.
Yeah, but he does blink on top of the tanks, which is really nice because those tanks do a good job of zoning, and that last tank is very far back. However, Liberators are on the way. Really juicy Disruptor hits. I feel like this game is so back and forth.
It really is. The problem is that now with the added Liberator and with these tanks, the Protoss is zoned out from his own third base, and it's just the tale of this series. eXiled, he can just never get a third up and running.
Yeah, Mogar, he's being incredibly aggressive, and he is really going for it. eXiled just wasn't able to keep up. Those rocks at that ramp were just so devastating to his ability to do any sort of flanking maneuvers, and he just kept losing his third base, losing base after base. I feel for him, but man, Mogar played really well.
That he did. Meanwhile, the Marines, they stim on forward, they get up the ramp, they do depower some of these gateways. His tanks are exposed once again, though, but unsieged tanks can still deal a lot of damage, and it looks like they will clean up all of these Stalkers. There's only one Disruptor remaining. It's going to get cleaned up as well, and the Protoss has been broken.
VG, well played. Mogar able to take that series, really well done. He just it's unfortunate for eXiled. We just wasn't quite able to string together the defense. He was just like 1 or 2 steps behind at every phase, and it's not quite going to be enough in order to win a series here. It's unfortunate to say, but like that's sometimes how it goes.
It is. But like that was just insane aggression coming out from Mogar. Like that was impressive. Like GG, congratulations, Mogar. He does advance on to the closed qualifier in a very impressive fashion. eXiled, like god, it was just not his day. I do appreciate what he was doing, right? He started off with a proxy Void Ray, which led into the previous games where he tried to go into fast disruptors. I did appreciate what he was trying to accomplish there, but he was also lacking a little bit. You know, every now and then he would lose a couple of disruptors for free. He would lose a Warp Prism. Just a little bit of too much miss micro there, and you can't afford to do that when you're up against Mogar, apparently.
And Mogar, he was just able to capitalize time and again on all of those mistakes. And it's really unfortunate how it goes, but StarCraft is a game of inches, and if you give up like too many mistakes, eventually the game just falls the other way. And so really well done by Mogar. He capitalized on the mistakes. He had good, solid builds, and he was just able to keep up that pressure. It's lovely to see.
Yeah, definitely. Just what an insane series, what an insane couple of qualifying matches that we had today. Relatively fast, but I'm happy that we were able to catch them.
Exactly, really impressive. Definitely was a fun time. As we do have, I believe we're out of games to cast.
Yeah, I believe so. With that, congratulations to our qualifying players. I'm not too sure if maybe some of the other series are still ongoing. Let me just quickly check. Yeah, it looks like one series is remaining, and that is Uko versus Dolan. I believe Chicken Man is casting that, so we may, if they're still going, we may just give them a bit of a cheeky raid after this. Give them some love, give them some support.
Yeah, but it's always nice to like see these games. It was very fun. It's always fun to see like all these games like this, and honestly, I had a great time casting these games. Thank you for having me, Light.
Yeah, it was great to have you back. I know it's been a while. The last thing we really casted together was NA Apprentice, and now at least we were able to kind of follow that tradition and cast some more North American StarCraft. It was a good time. It was a good time.
Of course. Yeah, and for those of you who don't know, my name is mLty. You can follow me basically everywhere at mLtySC, mLtysc, and also give Light a follow. He did a really excellent job running production today, and he does so much work.
Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, as you said, just make sure to follow mLty. He does stream occasionally on his own channel. You can follow him on the social medias as well. He is, of course, part of the CranKy Ducklings, and I'm sure we're going to be seeing some more of mLty here on the CranKy Ducklings casting alongside us as much as possible. Not just casting, but sometimes even competing. mLty.
Yeah.
He does. When he wakes up in time, he does play an MSO.
Yeah, unfortunately, I have a bad habit of sleeping in as of late. It was always my worst habit was getting up on time for MSO. But fortunately, going forward, I'll do my best to compete, and maybe I can choke a game for my fans.
It's one of those things where it's understandable, right? Master Swan Open and Sea Duckling Open it's not at the best time for North America. Unfortunately. But it's great whenever we do see someone from that region sign up and compete, because it does show the passion.
Oh yes, for sure. But yeah, no, thank you for putting it on, and I had a great time. Looking forward to seeing more and casting more with you guys.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. Speaking of, if you're in the chat and if you enjoyed the broadcast, then be sure to tune in the following days. I believe, let me just quickly check here. Our next broadcast is going to be DreamHack Qualifier number 1 for Oceania. I'm going to be casting that alongside Yakuzaku. That is going to be in 8 hours. So I'm going to quickly have a nap after this, wake up and...
Good plan, good plan.
Yep, and cast some more DreamHack. Oceania, of course, it's Oceania alongside rest of Asia. There are going to be players competing there like the likes of Ranger, Ender, Azure, Pez, Oreo, one of the Ducklings.
And gotta love Oreo.
Exactly, and many more. So we're gonna be there cheering for our boys as hard as we can, and hoping they make it through. Speaking of our boys, of course, you may be wondering, what about Starduck? Starduck popped off last season. He actually made it to the top 6 in Oceania. So because of that, he has already been invited to the next round. Unfortunately, because that means that Starduck has more time to play Kerrigan Survival 2. Feels bad, man.
Starduck.
Shaking my head, Starduck, shaking my head. But yes, we're gonna be seeing some more of that later on. As I quickly unfreeze the cams, shaking my head.
Oh, light.
It's fine. It's fine.
It's okay.
Yeah, don't worry about it. So yeah, if you enjoyed our broadcast, then be sure to hit that follow button. We're going to be live throughout the week covering more of these open qualifiers, as many of them as we can. And next week, we are also going to be the B stream for Oceania, Taiwan, Hong Kong, and China, the official B stream for those regions. When it comes to North America and Latin America, I know that we were able to cast some of them last season and the season before that. This time, I'm not too sure. I know that eXiled, they like to do things sometimes last minute, and we haven't been contacted, so we may not be a part of it. If not, that's fine. Give some love to Chicken Man and Steadfast and Rushi and the Alpha X boys. Like, they put in a lot of hard work as well. And we always want to give them as much love and support as we can. As we all grow together,
Exactly, yeah. It's a rising tide raises all ships and all that.
Exactly. Oh boy. Of course, last thing is that if you want to support the CranKy Ducklings and our channel, then you can always subscribe to our Twitch channel. You can check out our Patreon page as well, as all the money that we make here on our Twitch and Patreon, it all goes back into the CranKy Ducklings. It helps fund the tournaments that we run, and it also helps us pay our players, because our pro players are on a salary. So it's thanks to everyone watching and all of our supporters that we were able to have our pro team. So yeah. Thank you.
It's always exciting. Love to see it.
And with that, we are done for the day. mLty, do you have any final words?
Subscribe to the CranKy Ducklings. They do good work. No, that's it.
That's it. Thanks everyone for watching. We'll see you guys next time. Ciao.
Bye.